Welcome back to Dance with Mary NYC, where we talk about any and all things pointe shoes. Today I'm going to talk about vamps. And with me today is Leah. She's come back for another visit. Hi, Leah.
Hey, Mary.
Thank you so much for coming back today. Right, I'm going to talk about vamps. On a pointe shoe, the vamp is the area from the top of the drawstring casing to the tip of the platform, the top of the platform. Some pointe shoe companies will measure it all the way to the base of the platform. I'm just going to use the tip right here. So we're talking about this area. It's the area that encases the metatarsals, supports the toes, covers that area, helps hold everything in place. We're also going to talk about vamp elastic. I'll show you this in a little bit. The area covering the toes should completely cover the metatarsals. Occasionally you get shoes that don't quite go high enough if they have a short vamp, or maybe you've lost the support in the shank and you start to go over too far. Many times though, it's the issue that Leah has, where she has so much mobility and so much flexibility. She actually starts to go over and she needs a little more assistance. And let's just show everybody what it looks like when a dancer goes over too far. You can see there's so much flexibility and mobility in that joint. She just goes over, and then if I rotate your foot a little bit, and she could even go, there we go. And she goes over, and then it puts a lot of pressure on these tendons, joints, everything. And then also it can put quite a bit amount of pressure there on the Achilles tendon. And we want to give her some options, and the dancers out there some options to really make sure that the foot is healthy. We're going to use this extra wide elastic, and I just found this at a fabric store, or you can even get it at craft stores. And we're going to show you in a moment how to stitch that in place. As always, you want to get the proper tools for the proper job. You're going to get your pointe shoes, have those ready to go. Next, you're going to need your vamp elastic. This is extra wide elastic. It can be purchased at a craft store or a fabric store. You also need a sturdy pair of scissors because the layers can get a little thick to cut. You're also going to need a very sturdy needle because it's going to have to go through several layers. You want some really good thread. The thread can be a coated cotton thread. Probably you're not going to want to use a polyester thread, or you can even use unwaxed dental floss. Finally, what you want is you want to get some kind of a makeup. I just happen to be using a pancake makeup. You're going to need some water and some sponges, and we'll show you how to cover up the vamp elastic a little later. Leah and I have got all our items that we need to stitch the vamp elastic in place. We've got our pointe shoes, we've got the scissors, we've got the extra wide elastic, we've got needle and thread. So how do I put this in the shoe? Right, so the best thing to do is get yourself a section. Fold it in half, right, and then begin to insert it into the throat of the shoe. Okay. There are different possibilities. You could go way down in the shoe. You could even go so far as to cut this elastic in half if you felt it was too wide. Right, so that would be shorter. Or if you would like, if you've got a lot of mobility in your foot, or you're having a very hard time not keeping the foot from going over too far, then what you want to do is take the vamp elastic way high, right? So we're going to do that about mid-range. Leah and I are going to show you how to stitch that in place. I'm going to take the vamp elastic, and then maybe you can get your needle and thread. Right? And you want to tuck the drawstring under as well, so make sure that's secured. Then you want to insert it however height you need, right? And then you begin taking tiny little stitches. Right? You go all the way through the drawstring casing. Very important when you go through the casing not to stitch through the actual binding. Right? So there's a piece of either it can be cloth or it can be even elastic, and don't stitch all the way through that. I am going through this layer here, and then I'm just doing a simple in and out stitch. And I'm following the throat of the pointe shoe when I do that. And we keep going. And it's a little laborious. It does take a little bit of time, but it's really worth it once you get the final product done. And let's show them a little bit of a final product. Right, so your vamp elastic, the finished product would look like that. And then maybe Leah can show hers is at a different height in her shoe. Right, and there's the height of hers. So we've got a little bit of variation going on there, and that's very secure, and that will stay in place. Occasionally dancers will tell me, oh, this is white and I'm wearing pink tights, or I'm doing a contemporary piece and it doesn't quite match the skin. That's important. So what you want to do is, this is where we start to get our pancake makeup. Whatever brand you like, whatever matches your skin, or maybe even whatever matches the tights. We're going to also get some sponges. Get yourself a little bit of water. It can be simple tap water. And then wet the sponge. All right, and get it in there. You don't want to make it too wet. You don't want to do too much moisture, because then it will get in the pointe shoes, and pointe shoes break down with moisture. And then you're going to begin to pancake your shoe right on that vamp. Right, you may take a little bit of time, a little more water, a little more pancake, and just follow that line. And then once you've finished, double check it against your tights or against your skin and make sure it's invisible. And that's one of the ways that you can stitch vamp elastic to help keep you from going over too far, and then also cover it up. Right? And then we're going to have Leah demonstrate a little bit on point of what that final product looks like. Leah, I want to thank you for coming in today.
You're welcome.
I think that was really terrific. I think we gave everybody a lot of really good information about vamp elastic, and I think that vamp elastic looks great on your feet. As always, subscribe, click if you like something, and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Google+.